friction. Learning about increasing and reducing friction. Increasing and reducing friction. As you have seen in the previous section, friction is desirable in some situations. The sole of our shoes is grooved to provide the shoes better grip on the floor so that we can move safely. Similarly, the treaded tires of cars, trucks, and bulldozers provide better grip with the ground. We deliberately increase friction by using brake pads in the brake system of bicycles
and automobiles.
When you are riding a bicycle, the brake pads do not touch the wheels, but when you press the brake lever, these pads arrest the motion of the rim due to friction. The wheel stops moving. In some situations, however, friction is undesirable and we would want to minimize it. We sprinkle fine powder on the carom board to reduce the friction. You might have noticed that when a few drops of oil are poured on the hinges of a door, the door moves smoothly. A bicycle and a motor mechanic use grease between the moving parts of these machines. In all the above cases, we want to reduce friction in order to increase efficiency. When oil, grease, or graphite is applied between the moving part of a machine, a thin layer is formed there, and moving surfaces do not directly rub against each other. Interlocking of irregularities is avoided to a great extent. Movement becomes smooth. The substances which reduce friction are called lubricants. In some machines, it may not be advisable to use oil as lubricant. An air cushion between the moving parts is used to reduce friction. Wheels reduce friction. You must have seen attaches and other pieces of luggage fitted with rollers. Even a child can pull such pieces of luggage. Rolling reduces friction. It is always easier to roll than to slide a body over another. That is the reason it is convenient to pull the luggages fitted with rollers. Activity. Take a few pencils which are cylindrical in shape. Place them parallel to each other on a table. Place a thick book over it. Now push the book. You observe the pencils rolling as the book moves. When one body rolls over the surface of another body, the resistance to its motion is called the rolling friction. Now we can understand why wheel is said to be one of the greatest inventions of mankind. Since the rolling friction is smaller than the sliding friction, sliding is replaced in most machines by rolling by the use of ball bearings. Common examples are the use of ball bearings between hubs and the axles of ceiling fans and bicycles. Fluid friction. You know that air is very light and thin, yet it exerts frictional force on objects. Let us think a bird moving through it. Water and other liquids exert force of friction when objects like boat or fishes move through them. In science, the common name of gases and liquids is fluids. So we can say that fluids exert force of friction on objects in motion through them. The frictional force exerted by fluids is also called drag. The frictional force on an object like boat or fishes in a fluid depends on its speed with respect to the fluid. The frictional force also depends on the shape of the object and the nature of the fluid. It is obvious that when objects, let us assume children swimming, move through fluids, they have to overcome friction acting on them. In this process, they lose energy. Efforts are therefore made to minimize friction. So, objects are given special shapes. The scientists get hints for these special shapes from nature. Birds and fishes have to move about in fluids all the time. The bodies must have evolved to shapes which would make them not to lose much energy in overcoming friction. If we look at the shape of aeroplanes, we find it similar to the shape of a bird. In fact, all vehicles are designed to have shapes which reduce fluid friction. Summary: the sole of the shoes and the tires of the vehicle are treaded to increase friction. Friction can be reduced by using lubricants. When one body rolls over another body, rolling friction comes into play. Rolling friction is smaller than the sliding friction. In many machines, friction is reduced by using ball bearings. Fluid friction can be minimized by giving suitable shapes to bodies moving in fluids. That is all in this lesson. Enjoy learning.